Do you see this? Do you see this here?
Yeah, it's a video we did a while ago. What's the problem?
The problem is that this aged about as well as milk. You should know by now that Sonic Forces was an overhyped game that was average at best and disappointing at worst. Due to simplistic gameplay, rushed production, and lack of immersive story, seems pretty far from awesome, if you ask me.
You see the quotations I'm making with my claw hand?
Yeah, you're right.
Wait. Really?
Look, I enjoyed the game, but even I can admit that the things I enjoy are never going to be perfect. Unless we're talking Mario Kart Double Dash, Avatar, LEGO Star Wars, or the Season 2 finale of SAO.
Weeb.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to CPTV. Today's video will be kind of a retrospective on Sonic Forces, but with a bit of a twist that I'll get to later.
Good to know you didn't forget about me. It's bad enough you put my trending series on hiatus.
Yeah, okay, anyways. Despite my Sonic Forces experience being quite a positive one, I'd be lying if I said it didn't come across as an unfulfilling game leaving much to be desired, such as immersion, longer levels, more character screen time, a gosh darn chaos boss battle. The list goes on. In short, the game wasn't terrible, but it could have been a lot better. Luckily, rather than bashing the game like what commonly happened with Sonic 06, fans seemed much more eager to try to improve the game instead, whether through mods, rewrites, or even just fan art.
I'd say it's pretty bad when the Sonic fanbase is putting out better quality stuff than the actual company. Sega, get your act together. You're making yourselves look like idiots and it's bloody embarrassing.
I happened to stumble across something else that improved on Sonic Forces, though quite unintentionally, and it's something that a lot of you probably wouldn't expect.
Is it a mod?
Mm-mm.
Is it a fan game?
Nope.
Is it a Wattpad rewrite?
Definitely not.
Is it even Sonic related?
Nuh-uh.
What the heck?
This thing I speak of is actually a 2005 video game called Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3. Hear me out. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger was a video game franchise developed by Chrome Studios in the early 2000s, putting out a total of 4 games before the company sadly closed its doors. While many could accuse Ty games of just being another Sonic wannabe, they actually had some very cool and original concepts, and are honestly really solid and fun games. Now, back in the day, I sadly missed out on playing the first one, but the second one, called Bush Rescue, is to this day one of my all-time favorite GameCube games. I mean, what's not to love about beating fools with boomerangs, driving giant mechs, collecting shiny collectibles, and riding through the great outback on a gosh darn Jeep? Now, from my personal experience, I've learned that video game sequels tend to get better as they go on rather than getting worse. Kinda the opposite of movie sequels sometimes. So recently, I put that theory to the test by playing Ty 3, and brother was I not disappointed. This game improved on its predecessor while also bringing fresh new concepts, making it a fantastic final entry in this trilogy. I don't count the fourth one, sorry.
I fail to see the resemblance to Sonic Forces. Feels like you're just trying to plug Sonic to gain views. How exactly does Ty relate to this?
Valid question, Mark. On the surface, there aren't any resemblances. But as I played through the prologue of this game, I started noticing very eerie similarities to the storyline in Sonic Forces. Observe. Main hero is called upon to face a new evil, becomes absent from his homeworld for 6 months, comes back to find a new force of evil has taken over the world, gets a cool toy that's kind of OP and solves everything, finds that his friends have formed a resistance, and the strangest choice for a leadership role somehow becomes commander of the entire said resistance. Okay, so maybe I'm reaching with some of those comparisons, but that 6-month time span is way too coincidental for me to pass up. Not only does Ty 3 share all these similarities with Sonic Forces, but it also, in my humble opinion, vastly improves on them.
I'm sorry, but do you really consider this obscure video game to be an improvement on Sonic Forces?
Yes I do. And I'm prepared to list the reasons why. Firstly, Ty 3 has an actual free roam environment. An automatic win in my book. I mean, what do you think is more effective in immersing yourself in a post-apocalyptic world? This? Or this? The unfortunate problem with Sonic Forces is that it didn't take enough time to nail home its idea of a dystopian world, and even when we do get glimpses of it, it's literally just one war-torn city. Other than that, you're either speeding through a shiny new Green Hills or a shiny new Metropolis, With Tai 3, you literally cannot walk out the front door without being greeted by the other dimensional invasion that wants to blow your head off.
Why are there aliens everywhere? Out of my way, out of my way, out of my way. Dang purple stuff, what is going on here? Why is the ground exploding? What is with that ridiculous walking sound? Again with the roads exploding. I got you now. Anyway, get out of my way.
If you ask me, I'd say a nice leisurely stroll through a beautiful, non-tension-filled green hills isn't nearly as effective as brutal
Kill or be killed, catastrophic confrontation with an alien force of indestructible power leading to a desperate fight for your life.
Just saying.
Another interesting thing Tai 3 does is establish that, even though your friends have formed a resistance, not everyone is there. There are in fact characters who had their spirits broken and parted ways, leading you to have to go look for them and rally them back together. Now, how cool would it be if Forces did that? Where Sonic gets back and realizes that he has to get the band back together and sets out to find his friends one by one. Not only would these little ventures make the game longer, but it would also lead to way more environments to explore as well. But at the very least, it is what this game does, and as I mentioned, it gives you the opportunity to explore some really cool and interesting environments. Oh yeah, and remember those aerial battles you get to watch from Metropolis? Well, in Tai 3 you get to partake in said aerial battles, and it is pretty awesome, albeit maybe a tad hard to control at times.
Brace myself for what? What's going on? Oops.
What about the other main problem with Forces, being classic Sonic? Does this game have any sort of classic tie involved?
Nope, no classic tie. In fact, this game spends more time on actually exploring and delving into the existing cast of likable characters!
Oh, the horror.
Speaking of which, I feel like I should talk about how in-depth this world is, as you're able to go around various places and talk to several different characters. I would have loved it if Sonic Forces did this, kind of like what they did in Sonic Unleashed. Tai 3 makes it a lot of fun going around and interacting with people, right up to being able to throw boomerangs at their faces. Now, to Sonic Forces' credit, I actually really love the concept of Wispons. Even if they're a little OP, the idea of weapons that use Wisp energy is really cool and clever. However, I feel like a missed opportunity would be the ability to customize and modify your Wispons. And I'm not just talking about the bonus rings or whatever, more along the lines of weapon stats. How far can they shoot? What would be the drawbacks? What kind of special abilities can you equip? Fun little options like that. Tai 3 does something similar, and gives you the capability of modifying your boomerangs with various elemental stones. These are kinda similar to Wisp Energy, possessing different abilities and all that. Each ring you have has a different amount of stones you can equip to them with various combinations as well.
So I guess Tai is the last airbender in Australia.
Oh, but Matt, there's still one more thing Sonic Forces does that Tai 3 doesn't, and that's character customization. Now, with all the praise I give Tai 3, you're probably getting the impression that I consider it a perfect game that Sonic Forces was so foolish not to learn from. And well, that's not entirely the case. Since Tai 3 is an older game, there's obviously a few things that just don't stand up too well today. Animation can be a tad awkward, some of the level designs are a little wonky, and even the racing minigames don't exactly add much. But otherwise, I feel like the creators had a very specific vision for this game, and they achieved it quite well, which could be more than I could say for Sonic Forces, despite my aforementioned enjoyment of the game. But luckily there is hope for Sonic stepping up their game in the near future. With the speculated Sonic Rangers possibly being a free-roam game, I am very hopeful that Sega starts going back to their Sonic Adventure roots and giving us a complete and well-crafted game. Well, what did we learn today, Mark?
That Australia has a better Sonic universe than the actual Sonic universe?
No, it's that great concepts can come from anywhere. Even if something is lesser known, there's bound to be something of great value that did work as long as you look deep enough.
I like mine better.
In conclusion, I still respect Sonic Forces for what it gave us, even if it could have given us much more. But Tai 3 has more than filled that void because of how more fulfilling a gaming experience it was. And they're all currently available on Steam, so to anybody who has an account, I highly recommend giving those a try, especially Tai 2 and 3. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you so much for watching and for bearing with us despite the lack of content lately. Search for the Lost and more projects are underway, and we really hope you end up enjoying them in the near future.
Hey Matt, I bet you can't say the words good, I, and might without sounding Australian.
Okay. Good I might. Oh wow, that does sound Australian. Good I might. Wow. That works. That actually.
Thanks again for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and stay cool.
What? Wow, that doesn't sound Australian. No matter how hard you try it. Good I might. Good I might. Good I might. Good I might. That's just sounding more Australian the more I say it. What the heck? Good I. Good I. Good I. Good I might. What the heck?